Well, next week, the Climb CDC is hosting a COVID-19 community meeting to discuss vaccine hesitancy and COVID-19 disparities. Joining us now is speaker and clinical psychology doctoral student Randon Heim to tell us about some of his research and what people can learn from this meeting. And Randon, thank you so much for joining us. This is really important, of course, for the community to hear more about this. And people have heard a lot about vaccine hesitancy, and it is real.
Absolutely. It's a very real thing. It's something that affects multiple groups, different races, different political ideologies, and it's something that, I work really hard to try to discuss and have open conversation about.
Yeah, what are you finding in your studies? Because I know that you've been doing a lot of research probably as part of your doctorate. So yes. What are you finding and learning that you're going to share, at least kind of in a nutshell, that might help people?
Absolutely. One thing that I'll be sharing, at the Climb CDC conference, which is, funded by the Mississippi State Public Health Institute, I'm really focused on one thing, having open and honest dialogue and conversation about a lot of difficult issues, right? So vaccine hesitancy can range from things like anti-vaccination sentiments, people having honest concerns about whether or not, vaccines will affect their children, how they will be able to respond to side effects to the vaccine and different concerns, but also a lot of my doctoral research is focused on specifically in the Black community related to historical mistrust, sure. Right? Based off of things like Tuskegee, different cultural stories that we hear about like Henrietta Lacks as well. So I'm really focused on having conversations about that and being able to, as a provider, discuss that with my clients and patients and then see if they're willing
sure.
to take that step.
It's hard to let that go for a lot of people, even
Absolutely.
Though I think most of that, what happened in the 30s, 40s, that's terrible, and I understand people having those concerns.
For sure.
Still today. It's hard to get past that, for sure.
Absolutely.
And what about the disparities? Because I know that's with COVID-19 and other health issues, I know that's part of your program too coming up.
Yeah, absolutely. One aspect is that African Americans, Hispanics, and Indian Native Americans specifically, bear the brunt of the pandemic at the very start. Thanks to community efforts, the Climb CDC being a great example of that, we've worked to reduce some of those disparities, but the issue lies really in some of the chronic health conditions that we see specifically with certain races, which carry forward, right? So the importance of getting certain groups and certain populations vaccinated is based off of some of that historical marginalization as well. So that's one thing I really work for in order to reduce some of those disparities, though, like I said, we've worked hard to reduce them.
Yeah, so much of this has to do with education, awareness, and just and letting people know more about what you've learned, and you're going to be doing that next week.
Yes.
At the community center in Orange Grove, I
right.
believe.
6
Orange
o'clock.
Grove Community Center on Dido Road in Gulfport.
Mm-hmm.
There's the information. It's coming up Tuesday, January 24th. This is a free event. It's only an hour, I think, and
yes.
It'll give people a chance to ask questions and learn more about these issues. So this sounds very worthwhile, again, hosted by the Climb CDC. Randon Heim, great to have you on the show, and I look forward to talking to you again about this.
Absolutely.
And other things.
Right, of course. Thank you.
Thanks so much.